Welcome, collectors. Thank you for joining me for this installment of Diecast Emporium. In this review, we're going to be checking out Del Prado's 187 scale 2005 HP 75-foot E1 Quint fire truck. If you're not familiar with the term Quint, Quint serves the dual purpose of an engine and ladder truck. Now, you may think Quint, that normally refers to 5, right? And you're correct. Quint refers to the 5 applications a Quint can provide. Number 1, it has to have a pump. Number 2, it has a water tank. Number 3, a fire hose. Number 4, a main aerial ladder device. And number 5, carry ground ladders. Now, really the emergence of Quints, at least in the American Fire Service, really started to take off in the early to mid-1990s. And it's a great alternative for either volunteer fire departments or smaller fire departments that may not necessarily have the budget to have a designated engine and a designated ladder truck. So you really see these here in the United States very, very frequently. They are extremely popular. And again, it offers a great alternative to fire departments that, especially volunteer fire departments that may be on a budget. So with the history lesson out of the way, let's take a look at the actual model. Now, Del Prado, you can find them almost all the time on Amazon. They make not just fire trucks, but other models in various different scales. They're not really known to be of the highest quality, and they hardly ever feature any functionality, but we're going to find out with this one. I've already taken the time to cut the bottom part just to save a little bit of time and to start with the screws. So let's get this out. You will need a small Phillips screwdriver. As you can see, I've already started, so let's just finish it here and take them off. By the way, at the end of this video, we're going to compare this Quint or aerial ladder to some other ladder trucks I have in HO scale, just to give you guys an indication of what's in the market so you guys can make your own decision about what you want to buy. All right, so here's the model. Again, I can tell you, yep, as I suspected, there's no functionality on this model at all. But to be fair, it does look all right. If you were to pose this in like the Walthers fire station, for example, just backed up into a bay or maybe sitting outside the fire department, it looks decent. Or of course, traveling down the road, it looks fine. But if you were to have this staged at a fire, specifically if you wanted it working at a fire with the ladder up, you're kind of out of luck. Starting at the rear for the details, you have the E1 logo back here. And the diamond plating is nice on here. It's highlighted by some lights. You have some safety railings and stuff around the 75-foot aerial ladder. Up here, this is where your fire department, your specific fire department nameplate and things would go, this would be great for customizers, of course, because, as I saw with the screws, this is held together by Phillips screws, so you can completely and very quickly disassemble this if you wanted to respray this in whatever company or whatever fire department you wanted to respray it in. That's an option for you as well. As far as the cab goes, as I said, it's an E1, so you could probably fit in this cab at least 5 firefighters comfortably. You have your chauffeur, either your captain or some officer in the passenger seat, and maybe 2 to 3 firefighters in the rear. Back at the front, you have plastic mirrors. The nozzle at the end of the ladder is metal, which is nice and casted in. Just would be even better if it was actually functional. And you have 2 main warning lights up on top that are separated with the ladder in the middle. So again, I'll be honest with you, it is a bit of a disappointment, especially for, by the time you're done paying tax and shipping, it's not unheard of that these usually are about $20 to $25 US. And when you're talking about that kind of money, you can get, for example, this, which is the Walthers Scene Master. They call it the ladder truck. Once again, technically it is a Quint, and the ladder on here is functional and features one single extending section. And this costs, between $5 and $10 less than the Del Prado truck does. So I was really hoping that something did work on here when I bought this, so I'll be honest with you, it is a bit disappointing, but the truck does look good, and it gives a little bit of, it breaks up the monotony of the Spartan apparatus that monopolized my fire department, at least, so I guess there's that. So, as promised, let's go over the other fire trucks that I have, at least, or the aerial ladder trucks, the Quints that I have. Most of you guys, especially the HO guys, will be very familiar about what's in the market, but there are plenty of collectors that are not. So let's start off with the entry-level stuff. These are 2 Matchbox reel working rigs. We'll start off with the Pierce Velocity 100-foot aerial ladder truck. Someone in HO scale, one of the proper manufacturers, needs to replicate a truck like this with a bucket on the end of it for this type of truck with a bucket on the end of it. There's plenty of them out there that do not have a platform at the end, and someone needs to do this, or even a tower ladder truck in the style of New York City, for example, that love their tower ladders. Even this works, but there's no, as you may expect, there's no outriggers or anything. They're molded in, they're there, but they don't function. This is available in a variety of different colors, as this casting's about 11 years old. And anytime Matchbox Reel Working Rigs comes out with a new series, you can almost bet your bottom dollar that there will be a fire truck in that lineup throughout the year. So that's that one. That's the Pierce Velocity. This is the Pierce Quantum 75-foot aerial ladder truck. Again, this one does not have the platform at the end. About the same size, but once again, the other ladder is 100-foot. This one's a 75-foot, and there's no bucket on the end of it. This truck is not the paint scheme, but the actual truck is very similar to what my local fire department here in Cincinnati has. As a matter of fact, it's probably the same model year. It's almost identical. So that's available. Again, the ladder and extended sections work. And actually, the color scheme is not that bad either. You want a little bit of old school flair? Well, why not for a classic Mac? I call this the Backdraft style ladder, if you've ever seen the movie Backdraft. I think it was ladder 46, could be wrong. Something like this for the Chicago Fire Department was almost this exact truck. Don't remember who makes this. Lifelike, possibly. This is in 187 scale. It's a plastic model. And they came out with a Mac engine to go with this as well, which I also own. All right. I showed you this very briefly, so we won't spend much time on this already. This is the Walthers Scene Master heavy-duty ladder truck, they call it. Again, it is a Quint, not technically a ladder truck. But again, it would be great sometime soon if Walthers, added another axle, put a bucket on this, extended the frame, and made a new casting of a proper ladder truck. It would complement their fleet very well. And once again, just to throw it out there, make a tower ladder as well. These castings have been around for the better part of 20 years when Boley initially made them. It's time for some new fire trucks. And last, but certainly not least, you cannot buy this anywhere. This is a custom truck that I had made for me about 2 years ago. This is our Ladder 1. This goes out to all working fires on my layout. This thing is a beast. The outriggers work on this. If you've seen any of the HO files involving fires, you can see this truck fully deployed and working. In fact, at the Betty's Burning Building HO Files video that I just did, I don't know, about a week or so ago, you can check out the link at your top of the screen right now if you want to see that. You can see this truck at work with the outriggers deployed, ladder up, all that fun stuff. So there you go, collectors. Hope you liked this video. Drop me a comment in the comment section below if you did. Let me know what you think of the Del Prado ladder truck and what other fire trucks you'd like to see made in a variety of different scales. I'm Tommy with Diecast Emporium. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next review.